Tonight, minority in parliament demands sacking or suspension of Sammy Gyamfi after dollar gift incident, accusing the Goldbod CEO of breaching several Ghanaian laws.
Told the good people of Ghana that just recently, about a week ago, that if you violate his whole code of conduct, you are going to feel sanctioned. By now, we should have seen a letter being issued dismissing Mr. Sammy or suspending him pending further investigation.
We have details as several civil society actors demand tougher action from the president against the Goldbod CEO.
Appropriate at most suspension.
At most.
Yes.
Suspension.
Yes, at most.
It could be a public reprimand, which is good enough. Even a suspension for a number of days.
So some of these things, they require very quick investigations for him to be able to take an action.
Tonight, we have an update from the presidency where we understand the chief of staff holding Sammy Gyamfi following the incident, which has attracted widespread condemnation. Our top story, as always, is brought to you by Telecel Connecting Energies and Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil. Well, my name is Samuel Kojo Brace. Now, tonight, the minority in parliament is demanding the sacking of Goldbod CEO Sammy Gyamfi following an incident involving him doling out dollar notes to self-styled evangelist Patricia Coranting, popularly known as Nana Agrada. The incident, captured on a video that has since gone viral, has attracted widespread condemnation. The minority accused Sammy Gyamfi of breaching several statutes and wants the president to crack the whip on his appointee. We will hear from the minority and several civil society actors shortly. First, though, here is a report capturing exactly what happened.
In the video, which has since gone viral, Sammy Gyamfi is first seen posing for a photo with Mama Pat, also known as Nana Agrada, and then proceeds to shake hands with a man standing next to them. Then gets into his car. Mr. Gyamfi is shortly seen counting an undisclosed amount of dollar notes, giving her a portion. Mama Pat, standing by the door, asks for the whole sum in his hand, saying, "What will happen if you give the whole amount to me?" She proceeded to snag the notes, including the sum he wanted to keep. Sammy Gyamfi's car drove off after that. Agrada, visibly excited, left saying, "I've been able to take dollars from Sammy Gyamfi, who say woman no day," as the others followed, attempting to get some favors, saying, "Mommy, we are here. Mommy, let's share." This video has attracted varied reactions, especially from social media, condemning the actions of the Goldbod CEO. President of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo, described the incident difficult as he believes that the amount involved exceeded the 20,000 Ghana cedis threshold the president tagged.
Well, the minority in parliament have become the latest group to wade into the controversy, demanding the sacking of Sammy Gyamfi or at least a suspension. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante joins in studio with some details. Kweku, let's start from the laws the NPP in parliament say Sammy Gyamfi has breached with his conduct.
So there are two of them mainly. That is the Foreign Exchange Act and the Currency Act. They say, per their reading and their understanding of the provisions of those two provisions, those two statutes that are still Ghanaian law, Sammy Gyamfi, as a public officer and even as a citizen, does not have the right to carry around such amount of dollars, let alone be transacting with it. And they say that carries with it offense, conviction, and they do not believe that Sammy Gyamfi should be let go. And so these are the offenses they believe Sammy Gyamfi has breached. They catalog them and explain their take on that.
Other financial and monetary laws have been challenged by the actions of Mr. Sammy Gyamfi. The Foreign Exchange Act 2006 Act 273 prescribes under Section 3, Clause 1 and 4, a person engaging in the business of dealing in foreign exchange without a license issued under this act. In other words, the Foreign Exchange Act has prescribed anyone doing businesses with the United States dollar or any foreign currency without approval or license so granted under the act. The business of dealing in foreign exchange includes the receipt or payment of foreign currency. The Bank of Ghana has constantly reminded us through various notices that pricing, advertising, receipting, or making payment for goods and services in foreign currency without authorization from the Bank of Ghana is illegal. The penalties for such violation includes a fine of up to 700 penalty units or a prison term of not more than 18 months or both. The Ghana cedi or the Ghanaian cedi is the only sole legal tender in Ghana. And for emphasis, let us repeat this. The Ghana cedi is the sole legal tender in Ghana. There is no justification whatsoever for keeping stacks of dollars because foreign exchange businesses and international payment are regulated under Section 16 and Section 15, which provides that, and I quote, each payment in foreign currency to or from Ghana between resident and non-resident or between non-residents shall be made through a bank. So if you have any payment to make, for which reason Mr. Sammy Gyamfi was holding United States dollars, stacks of dollars in his car or with him, he ought to have made said payment through the bank. The action of Mr. Sammy Gyamfi in keeping, spending, and circulating foreign currency is also an offense under Section 26 of the Currency Act. And for us, this Currency Act, 1964 Act, was promulgated for the purposes of ensuring that we do not pursue action that will lead to the deterioration of value of the Ghanaian cedi. And we put in place these financial and monetary laws for the purposes of safeguarding our economy and ensuring that our national sovereignty, because a country's sovereignty is also regulated by the currency. It defines the people. So any act you do that seeks to undermine your Ghanaian cedi is an offense under the Currency Act. And for choosing to spend in dollar in your economy, aside being against the Foreign Exchange Act, is also against the Currency Act.
All right, so that is the minority there. We also have on the line here, we'll be speaking to him, Ralph Pokunwedusa. He's MP of Bekwa, and he was part of those who organized this presser. Honorable, I'm grateful to you for joining.
Good evening to you and good evening to your listeners.
Great.
Thank you for calling me on your show.
Great. Do hold the line for me. Just before I come to you, Kweku. They are calling for severe sanctions, including a dismissal by the minority. Why are they making this call?
Yes, they are not really enthused about what they say the lack of action by the president on this matter. They believe that up until now, the president should have acted decisively, dismissing Sammy Gyamfi from office, or at least suspending him for some sort of investigations to go on in this matter.
The president has clearly told the good people of Ghana that, just recently, about a week ago, that if you violate his whole code of conduct, you are going to feel sanctioned. By now, we should have seen a letter being issued dismissing Mr. Sammy Gyamfi or suspending him pending further investigation. This is only the right thing to do. The immediate sanctioning of Mr. Sammy Gyamfi as acting CEO of the Ghana Goldbod. Clearly, it is an affront on the code of conduct. It is against the Foreign Exchange Act. It is against the Currency Act of the country. And even though the Chief of Staff mentioned that ignorance of the law is unexcused, Mr. Gyamfi is never ignorant of the law. He's a lawyer of repute and understands clearly the action and the consequences of the action. So he ought to take responsibility for same. Secondly, we are calling for a full-scale investigation into the source of the dollar bundle displayed in the viral video. Where did he get the dollar from? Ordinary Ghanaian cannot go to the bank and request, even if you have a dollar account. You must demonstrate transaction. You must demonstrate that you are traveling out of the country in order for them to even allow you access your own dollar. So we need a full-scale investigation into the source of the dollar bundle display in that viral video. 3, we expect an apology from the president to the good people of Ghana for the insult this act represents to those suffering under this suffering economy. Let it not be said that this parliament was silent in the face of such brazenness. We will not look on while public officers is desecrated and the Ghanaian people reduced to beggars in their own country. The NDC may wish to shrug this off as a personal error, which they have already started. But we are not buying that. Sammy Gyamfi represents the government. Aside being the spokesperson for the ruling party, he is a senior government official.
So that's the minority there. Now, civil society actors are also calling on the president to act tough, but are falling short of calling for outright dismissal. CDD fellow Dr. John Asaikopon says the president must suspend the Goldbod CEO as a disciplinary measure. Meanwhile, Executive Director for the Ghana Integrity Initiative, Mary Ada, and anti-graft campaigner Vitus Azim are pushing for a probe into the money source and possible sanctions.
When you are in public office, you have to even pay more attention to the way things look, because that is where you even end up losing a lot more goodwill and trust. So my thing is, I'm glad that the chief of staff has summoned him. I'm glad that he apologized. There's a code of conduct in place. Whatever the appropriate sanctions are, I just hope that the president will demonstrate swiftness in dealing with this in terms of applying the appropriate sanction, so that at least he can show that, look, this code of conduct that we have instituted, it's a policy that we intend to reinforce.
You speak of appropriate sanctions. What would be appropriate from where you sit?
Appropriate at most suspension.
At most?
Yes.
Suspension?
Yes, at
most?
Yes.
Worst case scenario?
Worst case scenario, yes.
So those who are saying he should be sacked and the rest, what do you say to them?
No.
So whatever it is that the president can do to use as a deterrent for future occurrences, I believe the president should. It could be a public reprimand, which is good enough. He apologizing is also fine. It could be even a suspension for a number of days. Or it could be for the president to know where he got all that money from and why he was sharing it like that. That's very important for all of us.
So some of these things, it requires very quick investigations for him to be able to take an action to see whether there's any cause of concern or not, and to come out and tell Ghanaians what he has found and whether he has started to take action or not. And that's what the president should do. For now, it's a bit difficult to just say what the president should do. The president needs to look into it further to find out whether there's a basis for some disciplinary action or not.
All right, let's bring in Raf Pokun Eduse. He's MP for Bekwai, and he addressed our news conference with Dr. Kabir Muhammad. Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining here. Now, I've been reading that particular law here and about the Foreign Exchange Act 2006. Is that what you are referring to, or there's an amendment that has been done?
We are making reference to the act that you just made reference to, the Foreign Exchange Act.
Okay. Now, if you look at Section 20, it says imposition of temporary restrictions. 1, where the governor determines that a country is experiencing or has experienced a severe deterioration in its balance of payment that requires the temporary imposition of exchange controls beyond measures provided for in Section 17, 18, and 19. The governor, in consultation with the minister, may by notice make rules to restrict, and what we are interested in is the C, the acquisition, holding, and use in the country of foreign currency or travelers' checks by persons, including residents. 2, it says the rule shall remain in force for a period of not more than 3 months. Have we had a recent rule like that you claim Sammy Gyamfi had contravened?
So clearly, when you're referring to an act, you need to look at it as a whole.
Okay.
You understand? First
All right.
of all, refer to the Act itself, the Section 3. Section 3 generally deals with possession of foreign currencies. So it is on this premise that you now have to look at the sections that you are referring to.
Okay.
Fundamentally, possession of foreign currency in these circumstances clearly violates the law. And the Act is quite clear when you look at it. So yes, I agree with the point you are making. But that is in a special case where you are actually making reference to non-existence or non-existence of a directive from the Bank of Ghana or the governor for that matter. But the sections that we have made reference to, when you look at Section 3 and 1, persons engaging in the business or dealing in foreign exchange without license, what we are saying is that being in possession of this foreign currency, is he a licensed person to deal with foreign currency? The answer is going to be no. And this press conference is premised on that basis. So let us take it away from you can't possess a dollar. You can have a region where you have a dollar. But what we are saying is a different thing here. Look at dealing or doing business in foreign exchange. In this case, Sammy Gyamfi having loads of cash in dollars in his vehicle and doling some out is what we are talking about.
So you, by your understanding, Sammy was dealing in the business of foreign exchange. Is that it?
Besides, otherwise, what is the dollars doing on him? It is not a legal tender in our country. So what are you doing with the dollars? It's as simple as you are in possession of it. So what are you dealing with it if you're not dealing with the dollars? Because you can't use the dollars to buy food in Ghana here. It's prohibited under the laws. So what we are saying is let's not take it out of context. What was the dollars doing on him? And does he have the license to possess it?
I mean, but
these are the questions that you have to ask. Very simple question.
Well, but I mean, when you look at the Section 20 of that particular act you refer to, which of course refers to individuals holding, foreign exchange, that is where it says the Bank of Ghana governor, in consultation with the minister, will issue, a notice to restrict persons from holding that. By the video we've all seen, is it not a stretch to say he was engaging in the business of transacting in foreign exchange?
Not at all. Simply because, are you also going to say that, or are you also saying that in absence of a directive from the governor of Bank of Ghana, you are entitled to possess the dollars?
Well, because the framers of the law themselves said in Section 20, subsection 3, that despite Section 2, the governor in consultation with the minister may extend the time frame designated for the operation of the rules for a period of not more than 3 months, and for any subsequent period that the governor in consultation with the minister may determine. In absence of such a rule, can we say that Sammy has contravened any law?
Precisely, yes, because Section 3.1 and 3.4, they are not to be read in conjunction or in connection with this provision you are making. They stand on their own. So look at the sections that we have made reference to and get the import of it. And you realize that he is dealing in dollars or doing business or transactions in dollars, and therefore is caught by this act. And clearly he has contravened the law, and he must face the full rigors of the law. It's as simple as it's not about the law.
Okay.
Let me put it clearly. What we are saying is nobody is after Sammy. What we are saying is that an offense has been committed. It is important that the president invite an investigation into the matter. And if he's found culpable, let the law be applied to him, just as it will apply to any other person in Ghana.
Okay.
We do not have anything against him. But if indeed, after the findings, there's going to be an established offense that he has committed, then he should be made to face the law. Because, excuse me, you wouldn't say that somebody has come to apologize after committing an armed robbery, and it should be that he has apologized, so we should leave the matter to him. In the same vein that we don't expect that somebody will possess in this hardship, somebody will possess so much dollars, and somebody will ask for petrol, and then you will give him our dollars. And it be countenanced. It shouldn't be encouraged. Let me tell you why this is even more dangerous, that the government should not let it slide. How old is the Goldbod? Let's ask ourselves that question. It's less than 6 months old. How much has been allocated to the Goldbod per the first budget that was read? $279 million. And look at this. You had the CEO 4 months after coming and displaying dollars of gifts, and it should be taken lightly. No, this is a special case. And it has to be given the right approach.
Well,
in dealing with it.
Okay, we've heard that the chief of staff invited him over this incident. Will your group be, find it enough if he is publicly reprimanded by the presidency?
Not at all. The president is not responsible for dealing with an offences in this country. It is the police. What we expected was the matter to be referred to the police so that he is invited by the police, or at least the national security. We are talking about an offence that has been committed. Since when the chief of staff become the investigators in criminal offences in this country? I mean, let us face the fact. This has never happened. Somebody has committed an offence, and we are expecting that by inviting the person to the Flagstaff House, the person should apologize to the general public, and the matter is dead. Is that what we want to preach? And is that the precedent we want to set? Okay. No. You commit an offense. In Ghana, every offense is defined in the statute, and they come with it an accompanying punishment. And if you are found guilty of the offense and convicted, you face the consequences. The punishment that comes with it, you face it. So all that we are saying is that we agree in the Constitution he has his right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. Fine. But for now, let them commission and investigations into the matter, and let us see whether or not he's guilty of the offense we are complaining of. And if he's guilty, let the law take its course. It's as simple as that.
If the presidency fails to act, will you be willing to take any steps in Parliament on this issue?
We were very clear in our press conference today that we will not leave any stone unturned in dealing with this matter. We will take it wherever we have to take it to ensure that everybody stays equal before the law. We won't say that you are in government, so therefore you go and display dollars when you don't have the basis or legal basis to do it, and because of your affiliations with the government, you should go scot-free. We won't accept that. We are all here. We have all been in this country. We have just seen a rise in our cedi against the dollar. Everybody is commending the country and the leaders. The president of the realm comes just about 3-4 days ago, outline a whole lengthy, a very comprehensive code of conduct. And the next minute, you have an appointee doing the very thing that this code of conduct is prohibited. And you feel it's not enough for the government to take it up. It's a test case for the president, if he cares to know, because this is just about 1 week old. Let us see what you did when it was even fresh on your mind.
Okay, I'm grateful to you.
We're waiting for that.
I'm grateful to you, Raf Poku-Edusei, for joining us here. He is MP for Bekwai here. Mustafa Gbande is Deputy Director of Operations at the Presidency. Mustafa, grateful for joining here. I mean, we know that today we understand the Chief of Staff invited Sammy. What do we know? What happened?
I told you that when you want to talk to me, speak to me as a Deputy General Secretary, because MP is my colleague National Executive. And of course, I have interest in this matter.
Anyway, but let's have your viewpoint. Answer the question for me.
Yeah, I have heard so. But the most important thing is that at the point when Sammy Gyamfi was giving this said woman the gift, all right? If you analyze the video clearly, you see that it was an act of good faith, a gesture in good faith. But we've all spoken about the times we find ourselves, the difficulties we face, the fact that we have a very conscious party support base that will not want to see the government fail. that will not want to see government appointees fail, that will not want to compare ourselves any day to the standard, the low standard the MPP and President Akufo-Addo offered us. That is why you see the applause from even our party base to say that, well, there's no criminality in that, but it shouldn't have in the first place. But great. Are we in government and we are serving the country with a belief that we will not make mistakes? The most difficult thing of any leader is to make a mistake and appreciate that you have made a mistake, come out and apologize to your followers.
They've referred to the act to say, well, he has done something that contravenes the act and the laws must work. You don't agree to that position?
Let me tell you, when we came to power, for the first time within 3 months, Sammy Gyamfi alone and his team through the Ministry of Finance have worked assiduously with a Goldbod that today all Ghanaians are benefiting from. Because if the Goldbod and gold trade have any relationship with how much the dollar is falling, then as a nation we need to commend that young man. Number two, if you have given this if you say press conference today, they will go and consult Otihene in Chedi before.
No, but Bande, you say he has to be commended, but in the past you have accused people of engaging in similar act, which then didn't help the city. Isn't it the same that with this, if it is encouraged, it will inure to the disadvantage of the Ghanaian city, and therefore some measures have to be put in place to deal with this?
People who have hoarded millions of dollars under their bed. We have said that. That is why you've seen the uproar from many of our party foot soldiers and colleagues who believe that no, Sammy Gyamfi of all people shouldn't have done that. The individual involved appreciated, even though he had sought to give a good gesture, it didn't sit well, it was inappropriate as described. He comes out and takes responsibility of same.
Okay, I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful to you. Let me bring in Adam Senano. Adam, how should the presidency be dealing with this issue?
I don't see that Mr. Sammy Gyamfi has breached any law or any policy. I think it's not just a stretch, it's absolutely ludicrous for anyone to suggest that in giving Gadra money, he was engaged in business. Business is for profit. Was this a loss-making business or what was it? Let's not have people stretching this issue. I think substantive would be for the president to establish whether the source of this money is something that is legitimate and doesn't breach any laws of the land. Sammy being a lawyer, I don't know what they were talking about. I have a dollar account. I cash dollars. I change cities to dollars depending on what I want to do. It's not strange to have dollars. We don't even know what denominations he was holding. And as you can see from the clip, he didn't attempt to give her all. He was trying to give her a portion and then she snatched the rest. So how can that be a business? I think that the president should caution him and all our appointees should be made to note that, you see, moving from private personal business to a public office means that now whatever you do must be in the name of the people and for the welfare of the people, and you are exposed to public scrutiny with everything you do. And so you need to be circumspect, you need to be measured, you need to be modest in what you do, and I think that a caution should be sufficient.
I'm grateful to you, Adam Senano. This has been Top Story brought to you by Telecel Connecting Energies. Up next is Newsnight.